Broncos football team remains red hot after a dominant victory this Saturday. Dylan Hibbard will give you the highlights. All that and more on this Monday edition of UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Jackson.
And I'm Ian Nickel. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News.
As the first anniversary of October 7th attack approaches, people here in the U.S. are working to honor those still being held captive by Hamas. In Plainview, New York, friends and family gathered to call for a release of Omar Nutra on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, a Jewish New Year. John Dowding spoke to his family members who are holding out hope that the Plainview native is still alive.
Omer grew up here on these streets, riding his bike here at the JCC. He's truly a Plainview kid.
For the family of Plainview's Omer Nutra, this year serves as a painful reminder of the one-year anniversary of Omer's kidnapping by Hamas.
It's hard to call it a Shana Tova, a good new year, until he's back.
His family, joined by religious and elected leaders, placed hundreds of yellow ribbons across Plainview to make sure the world does not forget about Omer and the other 100 hostages.
Nobody should forget about them. It's the highest priority.
As previously reported, Omer's family says he was serving in the Israeli Defense Forces when he was kidnapped by Hamas during the October 7th attack. The number 362 written on their chests is a grave reminder of how many days they have not heard from their son.
Can you imagine this? We wake up every morning praying that he too is still waking up every morning.
On the eve of Rosh Hashanah, his family prays for the release of all the hostages and for a ceasefire.
The United States government, the Israeli government, and all the free countries around the world needs to remember the 101 hostages that are still there and make sure they come out.
The Oklahoma State Department of Education released their guide for Bibles in schools on Thursday, which includes a controversial stipulation. Documents show that $3 million will be set aside to acquire 55,000 King James Bibles. It also requires that the Bibles have the U.S. Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and Pledge of Allegiance. However, one of the only Bibles on the market that fits the bill is the God Bless the USA Bible, commonly referred to as the Trump Bible after the former president endorsed it in March. Earlier today, Walters addressed criticism on X, saying that he does not know who will provide the Bibles.
The fake news media is at it again. This time their hatred of President Trump and their hatred of the Bible has made them so incensed that they've been lying about what we're doing here in Oklahoma in regards to Bibles in the classroom. So let me clear it up for them. Number one, we are bringing the Bibles back to Oklahoma classrooms because of its historical significance throughout this nation's history. You can go all the way back to even before this country was founded, and you see the Bible playing a major role with individuals throughout the country. You then continue to see throughout our history the Bible referenced time and time again by our founders, by certain presidents, by incredibly influential people throughout our history. In Oklahoma, we're going to make sure our students understand our country's history. They understand what made America, and they're able to continue to use that historical understanding to form their own beliefs and ideas. That's very important to us, and we are proud to be the first state to put the Bible back in the classroom. Also, I have no knowledge of who will be the person who provides these Bibles to the schools. I don't know who the vendor will be. I don't know who's applied for that. That's a process that's ongoing that I will ensure is fair and transparent. But
Florida is starting what could be its largest evacuation effort since 2017. That's according to officials who are urging some residents to flee ahead of Hurricane Milton. Floridans are bracing for a second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks. Forecasters predict Milton will have landfall Wednesday and then plow across most of the state. Officials are issuing both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders for at-risk areas. The National Hurricane Center warns flooding could threaten millions of residents. Milton's timing could be dangerous since the ground is still saturated in some areas from Hurricane Helene.
Hurricane Helene hit many homeowners in the wallet. The Category 4 hurricane caused up to $47.5 billion worth of damage, according to CoreLogic. The data adds that roughly half of that total comes from uninsured flood losses. Helene's wrath was felt in 16 states, including Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. At least 232 deaths have been reported from Helene, which makes it the second most fatal hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland in the past half century. This comes as much as Florida is preparing for Hurricane Milton's arrival this week. Forecasters say Milton is expected to bring additional destruction to the state. And man, those hurricanes look brutal.
I know. I hope that those folks stay safe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
Yeah. Let's turn it over to Gwyneth for our first look at weather. Gwyneth?
Thank you, guys. And looking at Hurricane Milton, you can see it has a direct path hitting Florida. It's currently a Category 5, and it's going to come in at that coast at 155 miles per hour. Those winds are going to be super high, super dangerous. It's really not looking good for Florida, especially after they just got hit by Helene. As we move east, you can see Hurricane Kirk is kind of going towards the same path, but it kind of curves up. It's going to be interesting to follow that and see how those hurricanes interact with each other. But as we go into the state, we're looking at nothing. That little patch of green in the south part of the state may look like something, possibly a cloud, but no, that's just haze. We're not really seeing anything across the state. We did have this cold front that swooped south today, and that kind of made those temperatures a little bit nicer. That brought in some northeast winds coming in, but later tonight we're going to switch to southeast. And our current conditions are looking at 83 degrees. It's better than we felt these past couple of days, but we do currently have fire weather conditions out there because of the drought and because of just all of the combining factors of it being too hot for October, and the winds are coming in just at the right amount to make it like those fire weather hazard conditions. We currently have northeast winds, but like I said, those are going to switch tonight to southeast. And as we look at our allergy index, ragweed and mold spores are still really high, but our tree pollen did go down, so we won some. It's not feeling too bad out there allergy-wise, but it's really only going to get worse if I'm being honest. Northeast winds are going to switch tonight to southeast winds, so it's going to be a little bit of a switch there. It's going to be a little bit more humid because of that. Our sunny skies are going to stick around, but we do have a little bit of chance of rain on Thursday. That's about 10%. So I wouldn't look forward to it. I would just keep an eye on it because right now we can't really tell if that's going to really turn into anything or not. We will have increased wind that will raise that fire threat throughout the week. So it's kind of low right now, but it will raise to moderate Friday through Sunday. We do have drought-like conditions that are going to worsen through October. It's not looking bright. We're not looking like we're going to see any rain through the rest of October. But you'll just want to keep an eye on it, and I'll have that full weather forecast later for you guys in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gwyneth. UCO's Alternative Fall Break will take place on October 17th and 18th. Alternative Fall Break seeks to create engaged and ethical citizens by getting students involved with local environmental conservation groups in the OKC metro area. Students will learn what each organization does for the community and spend time serving with each one. The event will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days of fall break. Students can sign up for Alternative Fall Break through UCorps. There will also be alternative breaks offered during the winter and spring semester breaks.
UCO hosts its annual Criminal Justice Day on October 4th, giving students the opportunity to network. The event started at 12:30 and featured over 35 agencies with 120 law enforcement partners. This is UCO's 11th year of hosting Criminal Justice Day. UCentral's Gwyneth Duncan spoke to two students who are interested in criminal justice.
CJ Day has been super beneficial for me. I came my junior and senior year from high school, and it was kind of like a good introduction to UCO itself. And then we have one of the best programs in criminal justice, so that really, I don't know, it kind of just summed up why I wanted to be here, and I found my passion through here. In my junior and senior year from high school, and it was kind of like a good introduction to UCO itself. And then we have one of the best programs in criminal justice, so that really, I don't know, it kind of just summed up why I wanted to be here, and I found my passion through here. Reconnecting with CJ Day again and actually helping and volunteering, and then also making connections and just making, I don't know, new memories, I guess, kind of full circle moment. It's really impacted me, so I guess it's just kind of giving back in a way.
So I've been going to CJ Day since I was a sophomore in high school. I really feel like it opened a lot of doors. It opened my eyes to certain objects and jobs that I've wanted to join, but I wasn't 100% sure on. Now I'm a junior in college, and I have really been able to communicate and find a lot of job opportunities, as such as like internships, jobs. Communication, meeting people, it really does matter. Like the more people you know really does help. So meeting CJ Day, you get to also go into different careers that you don't think that you would 100% be in or like want to join, but then you talk to the people and it's very mind-opening.
So I'm not going to lie to you. I was in the parking lot on Friday and I noticed the giant helicopter there, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is going on over there? I had no idea that it was Criminal Justice Day, but it looked like everyone had a great time down there, and the weather was super clear.
Yeah, the weather was amazing and so hot.
It was really, really hot.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this heat for sure.
Yeah.
We talked about it so much.
I'm definitely wondering when that rain is going to come in and when we're going to get out of that drought. Gwyneth will have our first look at weather after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Thank you guys. And looking outside right now, we're sitting at 83 degrees. It's not feeling too bad out there because of that cold front that moved in earlier today. But we do have fire weather conditions out there because of the drought. We haven't got much rain recently to soak that grass so that our chances for fire would be less. But now we are looking at that fire weather advisory, and looking across the state, we're looking at low 80s, even into 90s in the south parts of the state. Looking at 83 degrees in OKC, really nothing to complain about because we were up in the 90s just a few days ago. And looking at tonight, we're going to lower to 58 degrees and clear out there. Those winds are going to switch from northeast to east, and then tomorrow they're going to switch to southeast. So we're kind of having a front that's kind of pushing our winds that way, and so our winds are going to change up a little bit. That is going to bring up that humidity though. At nighttime, our humidity is going up to 53%. It will be pushed out through the rest of the day, but starting out, you're definitely going to be able to feel that. Looking at tonight, we're looking at mid to upper 50s, 55 degrees in OKC. Overall, it's going to be a pretty nice night. But tomorrow, it gets a little bit worse than it was today. Starting off at 7 a.m., we're going to be humid at 59 degrees. We have a 20% chance to have some clouds in the sky, which is better than nothing because we've just seen sunny skies these past couple of days, so no complaints there. Moving on to noon, we're going to go up to 76 degrees, and that's when that humidity kind of gets pushed out by that wind. And then at 7 p.m., it's going to be hot, those temperatures are going to rise to 80 degrees, and that UV is going to be pretty high, so that's what's going to make it feel a lot hotter than it actually is. Looking across our state, we're looking at mid to upper 80s, 90 degrees in Lawton, 84 degrees in OKC. It's just going to start going back up, those temperatures. It's not very ideal for us, but we are going to feel that. Like I said, those northeast winds are going to be switching to southeast in these next couple of days, tonight into tomorrow. Our sunny skies are going to stick around, but we do have a little chance of rain on Thursday. I say little and I emphasize little because it's only 10% right now. We're just going to want to keep an eye on that. We do have increased wind that will raise our fire danger throughout the week with that drought and everything, and it's not looking like that drought's going to leave. As we go throughout October, we're not really going to see much rain. This will probably be the driest October we've seen in a while. And as we look at our 7-day, Tuesday 85 degrees, Wednesday 88, Thursday there's our chance of rain, 10%, very small. Like I said, where all of these meters are at is where we are going to see our fire danger go up. Those winds are going to go up, so we have chances of fire weather all throughout all 4 of those days. And I don't know about you guys, but this hot weather is exhausting, and I'm praying that we get some rain on Thursday. How would you guys feel about that?
Wise men once said, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, that 10% isn't really holding much hope, but I'm super excited for the chance.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but coming up, who's already talking about Christmas?
And what did the former First Lady say about women's rights? Jeremy Ramirez will have all that and more when we come back.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jeremy Ramirez with all of your social media news. Anne Hathaway announced she's reprising her role as royalty in the newest installment of The Princess Diaries. An Instagram video shows the actress counting to 3 mixed with a clip from the trilogy. The post is finished off with a screenshot of an article announcing that the film is in the works. The movie's release date has not been announced yet, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Madonna shared Sunday that her younger brother, interior designer Christopher Ciccone, died at 63 on Friday. The post includes a heartwarming photo of the pair embracing. "He was the closest human to me for so long," said the singer. The siblings had a turbulent relationship throughout the years but came together later in life. A representative for the star's brother told NBC he lost his battle with late-stage cancer and died peacefully surrounded by family. Our hearts go out to their family. Melania Trump broke her silence about where she stands on abortion last week. The Instagram video shared Friday gave a glimpse of her personal views from her new memoir titled Melania.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean? Individual freedom is a fundamental.
Trump told Fox News that he gave his wife his blessing and said we spoke about it, adding, "You have to write what you believe." Mrs. Trump has largely remained silent and stayed away from the campaign trail for most of this election cycle. Vice President Kamala Harris appeared on the popular Call Her Daddy podcast with Alex Cooper last night. In the interview, the vice president can be heard debunking Trump's false claims that Democrats execute babies after birth. Harris referred to his statement as insulting and went as far to call them bold-faced lies. "This is happening nowhere in the country," said the Democratic nominee. The podcast was created by Cooper and has been aired on YouTube and Spotify since 2018. Kate Hudson is getting into the holiday spirit early this year with the release of a new festive single. The actress announced Friday that she's revamping the holiday classic, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Hudson shared Friday on Instagram new album art for her rendition of the iconic song. Fans online seemed to welcome the holiday tune, one calling it beautiful. The famous track was originally written by Hugh Martin and Ralph Blaine in 1943 and performed by Judy Garland the following year. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not ready to put up the tree yet. Ian, Lauren, are you guys ready for Christmas?
Not at all. Not
Personally,
at all.
I am. I love Christmas. I love Halloween as well. Nothing against Halloween. I just love Christmas more.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm trying to make it through October first
Real.
off. Let's get to October. Let's get to Thanksgiving, and then we'll worry about Christmas. Coming up, UCO football and volleyball look to keep their undefeated seasons alive.
Dylan Hibbard will have your full look at sports after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Hello everyone and welcome to your daily sports update. I'm Dylan Hibbard. The 17th ranked UCO Broncos football team took their undefeated 4-0 record to Joplin, Missouri and faced the Missouri Southern Lions, and just like the previous 4 games, the Broncos dominated with a 59-24 win. The player of the game, Jalen Cottrell, could not be tackled, rushed 11 times for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns, including 2 60-yard rushes. This is now back-to-back games with Cottrell rushing for at least 10 times and over 130 yards and 1 touchdown. The number 1 offense in the country show why they are worthy of that title with another monster day by quarterback Jeff Huff throwing 18 for 30 with 284 yards and 4 touchdowns. Receivers Terrell Davis and Ashton Schumann continue to be the top targets for Huff, with both having over 100-yard days. The newly 11th ranked Broncos are back home this Saturday afternoon looking to stay the only undefeated MIAA team and improve to 6-0 overall. It is the annual Hall of Fame game and kickoff is scheduled for 1 p.m. The 13th ranked UCO volleyball team is now a school best history 17-0. The Broncos continue their dominance in Joplin Friday night after dropping the first set, then would proceed to sweep the next 3 with a 3-1 victory over Missouri Southern. Senior Addison Wimmer led the team with 26 kills. The following afternoon on Saturday, the Broncos traveled to Warrensburg, Missouri to take on the Central Missouri Mules. However, this game tested the Broncos, seeing the Mules take a 2-0 set lead and putting the Broncos on notice. We would then take the next 2 sets, 25-17 and 25-10, making the final set winner take all. After being down 9-5 early in the final set, the Broncos would then go on a 5-0 run to cap off the dramatic comeback, keeping the perfect season alive. Volleyball will continue their Missouri road trip this weekend with Friday night at 6 p.m. in Maryville, Missouri, taking on Northwest Missouri, and then the following afternoon at 2 p.m. in St. Joseph, Missouri, taking on Missouri Western and look to improve to an insane 19-0 record. UCO soccer has now fallen to 4-4-2 on the season after a rough weekend at home. Friday night saw the Broncos have their second 0-0 final of the season already against the Missouri Southern Lions. This makes it back-to-back weekends with a game without a goal from either side. Sunday afternoon was not as nice to the Broncos as they went up against Missouri Western, falling to them with a final of 3-0. This game has made it 3 of the last 4 games for the Broncos offense getting shut out. The Broncos will look to get some scoring going this weekend as they host Fort Hays State Friday at 2 p.m. and Sunday afternoon they will host Nebraska Kearney Lopers at 1 p.m. So go out and support our Broncos. It is a wild day of college football with 5 top 11 ranked teams falling this past Saturday, all on the road. First team to go down was number 9 Missouri, losing on the road 41-10 to 25th ranked Texas A&M. Then number 11 USC lost on the road at Minnesota with the final score 24-17. The defending national champions Michigan lost to unranked Washington on the road 27-17. And then 2 top 5 SEC teams went down, starting with number 4 Tennessee losing to Arkansas 19-14. And finally, the biggest upset of the college football season thus far, with number 1 Alabama losing to Vanderbilt 40-35. This being the first time Vanderbilt has beaten Alabama in 23 years. The MLB playoffs are in full swing with the divisional series matchups going on right now. In the National League, both series are tied at 1 apiece. As we are on air, the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians are playing in Game 2 of their series with the Guardians up 1-0. Tonight on TBS and Max, the New York Yankees will host the Kansas City Royals for their Game 2 of their series, with the Yankees taking Game 1 with the score of 6-5. Monday Night Football is set for this evening as the 2-2 New Orleans Saints travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City will be without their leading receiver Rashee Rice after an injury last week. They will rely heavily on tight end Travis Kelce, who has not been a big factor this year with his early season struggles. Another big playmaker to watch is rookie Xavier Worthy. Now, you guys at the desk, I feel like every week we just come back on and it's like UCO volleyball and Broncos, they just don't know how to lose. It's amazing for the community and the school just to watch those guys go out there.
Yeah,
for sure, it's been amazing.
Yeah,
I
love our football and volleyball team. After the break, Gwyneth will have our last look at weather.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
How much difference can one vote make?
Tomorrow's daily forecast starting off at 7 a.m., 59 degrees. We might see a cloud in the sky. That's exciting. As we go throughout the rest of the day, 80 degrees at 7 p.m. And that's all I have for today's show. Back to you guys at the desk.